it is. And if we were to take, if we were to trade for somebody, I don't know what we'd have to trade. I don't want to trade any prospects away. I don't want to trade any roster players away or draft picks. We really just don't have anything to trade away by year 6. So, if we're doing well by the trade deadline, if we have a good record, I think we're just going to run with it. But, we've tried everything. In the past couple of years, there have been those couple of years, the one year we went for St. Louis, I think that was in year 1. Last year we went for Daniel Sedin. There have been those years where we went for those low trade value veteran guys at the trade deadline. It just didn't work out. Then there's been those years where we thought, okay, we have a great team. We're doing well, so why not just continue with it? And that didn't work out either. So, it's tough to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's tough to figure out what exactly we need to do. Let's see. McLeod, not 4-star, top 10. I mean, that could be green star, but let's check somewhere else. I don't think we're going to be trading up for a pick. We drafted Danner and Heatley last year, so I don't think we're going to be trading up for any more picks in the next couple of years, if we ever do. Oh, looks like Evander Kane is on Colorado. Wow. So looks like the computer teams are making some trades. That's cool. Aaron Ekblad leads us in assists. Alright, let's look at the Hurricanes. Looks like they have Kyle Clifford, Eddie Lack. Yeah, the computer teams, they're actually changing quite a bit by year 6 in this GM mode. That's pretty cool. I hate it when you get into like the year 8 or 9 like playoffs and you face a team like what's a good example? You face a team like the Rangers and they still have Rick Nash, but he's like 80 overall or something like that. They have the same players. They never got rid of them. They're just really low overalls now. But, or St. Louis, for example, like we just played. You'll play St. Louis in like year 10 and they'll have David back as like 80 overall, and Pietrangelo will be dropping. Well, maybe he won't be dropping by year 10, but you know what I mean. And same thing with goaltenders too. You'll see teams like 83 overall. Henrik Lundqvist. It's it gets boring after a while. That's why I can't really play GM modes for too long, because teams don't change very much, and when they do, they're names that I don't recognize. All-Star game, yes, I want to see the rosters. Who's made it? Alright. Malkin, Stamkos, and Huberdeau. Tavares made it. Alright, Johansson and Anthony Mantha. Pacioretty, Stepan, and Nyquist. Reed Boucher, Kuznetsov, and Ennis. And defensively, Riley, Subban, Carlson with Ekblad, Murray, and Hamilton. And then in the net, Josh Harding and Cal Lack. So that's not even Eddie Lack. I don't think that was on the Hurricanes. I think it's this guy, Cali Lack. Cal? I don't know. So let's check out the Blue All-Stars. Patrick Kane, Nathan McKinnon, Corey Perry, Hall, Nugent Hopkins, Parise, Ben, Bennett, Neal, Landeskog, Couture, Berglund. Looks like or no, it's Sam Bennett. I thought that was Bo Bennett for a second. No, Sam Bennett, he actually got really good. Defensively, Doughty, Pietrangelo, Leddy, Barry. Maybe we should have traded Leddy. I don't remember exactly what that deal was, but I don't know. Tyson Barry, Brendan Kitchton, and Justin Schultz, and then in the net, Jonathan Quick and Jake Allen. I wonder if they're ever going to change the jerseys that's game. That's one thing that drives me crazy about this game. Pretty sure it's the same for next gen, is that the All-Star jerseys and the Olympic jerseys, they don't change them. They've been the same thing for many years, since like NHL 10 or 11. They've been the same jerseys for the Olympics at least, and then the All-Star jerseys are the same ones from 2011 and 12. I guess the All-Star jerseys is understandable because they didn't have an All-Star game in 2013 or 14, and I don't think they could patch the jerseys in. But hopefully next year they'll have the new All-Star jerseys, even though I didn't really like the look of them. Just would like a change from the ones from 4 years ago. Ooh. lost to the Capitals there. All right, so let's simulate up to the end, or no, to the the trade deadline, and we'll check out the stats and everything and see if we actually want to make a move. I'd say if we can stay under 20 losses or so, or 22 losses, if we can stay under that before the trade deadline, that's great. 22 regulation losses. I mean, around the 20-ish mark. If we can stay around there, if we get above 25, that's not good. Obviously, we'd have to lose a lot of games. Oh, now we're starting to lose games. Dallas and Arizona. If we can get to 37 wins by the trade deadline, I think that's pretty good. So there you go, big win over Anaheim. Just looking at the names of the team, seeing if there's any big differences, changes. There we go, back-to-back wins against Anaheim and LA. Looks like that first line, Tavares and Toffoli are tearing it up. Johnny Gaudreau is leading us in plus-minus in the second line. And Zach Smith taking some penalties, but that's all right. The Toronto Maple Leafs don't have the greatest record. Ooh, we lose 2-1 in regulation. That's not good. Oh, Detroit. This might be the year they miss the playoffs. I haven't been paying too much attention to whether they've missed the playoffs in the last few years or not. I'd assume they have. But I don't know how long their playoff streak went if you add in this GM mode. St. Louis, very similar record. Different conference. And, ooh, 5-3 loss. All right. We beat the Rangers a few weeks ago. We could beat them again. Come on. Yeah, they don't have the greatest record at all. Say Dylan McIlrath. Wow, 188 penalty minutes for Dylan McIlrath. Oh, my God. Yeah, man, that guy's never making the NHL. Malkin and Crosby. Wow, look at that. How did they have Malkin and Crosby and they have that bad of a record? Come on, Pittsburgh. I don't think they've won the Stanley Cup in this GM just yet. And it doesn't look like they will either. Minnesota. Not the greatest, not the worst record. Kavasha, was that their goalie's name? Interesting name. 37-18-4, not bad. Right, can we beat? Wow, we're going on a big winning streak here. I like this. Scouting assignment. Looks like there's a top 10 goalie there. Burmistrov, yeah, why not? Scout him. He's the only goalie there. Could be the next Bobrovsky, who knows, or Varlamov. Alright, the New York Rangers. Had their number the past couple weeks. I'm pretty sure we beat them that second time, didn't we? Pretty sure we did. There we go. We beat them 3-2 again. Alright, so 39-18-4. I'm pretty sure we still have one more game before the deadline. Do we? Wow, Tavares has 35 goals by the deadline. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Now, Oleg Kapitanov is leading us in plus-minus. Gibson's already hit 30 wins. Alright, Pittsburgh. Can we beat them? Can we beat? Yes, 4-2. There we go. So we hit 40 wins by the trade deadline. I said I wanted less than 22 regulation losses and 37 wins by the trade deadline. We went 40-18, so that's pretty nice. Right, so as of right now, I don't think I want to make any changes. I mean, we're on pace for more than 50 wins this season, that's for sure. So I think we'll go into the deadline. I'm not going to make any moves outside of the deadline. I'll jump into the no. I want to check the stats first. Yes, all right, so team standings. All right, so we are currently second in the NHL. Looks like the East has the top 3 spots, and then the West kind of takes over from there. But yeah, we're just beyond Washington for that President's Trophy race. Yeah, look at that. That's the difference right there. They have one less loss, but they have a lot of overtime losses, so they get a lot of points that way. But we do have a game in hand. I would assume we do have a few games against Washington. Alright, so goals for per game. We are third, so that's very nice. Goals against per game. We are 9th. Alright, so top 10. Not the greatest. It could be better, but we're not in the bottom 50% of the league. Power play percent, we are 12th, so that's not the greatest. But we're not that far off of first place. It's only 3% better. We're tied with a few teams as well. Penalty kill, we are 5th. Alright, so we have pretty good individual stats, or team stats, I should say. We're 8-2-0 in our last 10, so we are a hot team right now. So now let's check out the player stats, see how everyone is performing. Tavares, I would assume, is point per game. How many games have we played so far? I would say 62. So I assume Tavares has around 75 points or something like that, 70 to 75. I've played 62 games. Tavares, 60, 68. It's still well over a point per game. So we go Tavares. He's on pace for, I'd say around 87 points, same as last year. But he already has more goals than his goals are very. They're all over the place. Like he went from 55 down to 45. I'm pretty sure before that 55 goal season he had like 30. So he jumped up to 55, went back down to 45, then went down even lower to 34, and now he's already at 35. So he's already got more goals than last year. So he likes to change it up, whether he gets more goals or assists in a season. This year he seems to be more of a goal scorer. Or he's more balanced, I should say. This year more goals, more assists, and now he seems to be kind of balanced out. Plus 17, 10 power play goals, 1 shorthanded goal, 4 game winners. Right, and Ryan Strome, look at that, second line center, 57 points. He could get his career high here. I'm pretty sure 67 points. Pretty sure that was his career high. He could be. He's having a great season. Plus 12, 13 power play goals. There you go. Let's look at forwards. Tyler Toffoli, 52 points, so he is getting his job done there in the first line. Yeah, I'd say he's on pace for another 65, maybe 70 point season if he goes on a tear at the end. Only 4 penalty minutes as well. This guy's disciplined. Johnny Gaudreau, 50 points right now. That is perfect for the second line. If he can get up to 60, between 60 and 65, that is perfect. He's 20-30. Yeah, Johnny Gaudreau is getting the job done. And Ryan O'Reilly on that first line. He could have more points, 47 points. If he can get to 55 points, that's fine for Ryan O'Reilly because this is a two-way forward. I don't expect him to have 70-plus point seasons. And I mean, Tavares is just on a tear, and these two wingers are helping him out, so I'm not going to complain. Wayne Simmons, 46 points. He's on pace to beat his totals from last year. So we signed him with that extension, and now he's putting up the numbers. So there you go. Smallman has 23 points in the third line. I know we're kind of maybe wasting his potential down there. I don't think he's going to drop, though. He's still 23 years old. He still has the 4 stars. We'll see what happens after the season. Whether we have to move out Simmons or not, or Ryan O'Reilly, we'll see. I would assume Ryan O'Reilly, after this year, would be dealt, unless we can afford him for that second year. But O'Reilly, I can see being a trading asset at the draft, just because of his big salary. We signed him with the intentions of using him for a cup run and then trading him. We did not sign him for the intentions of keeping him throughout the entire contract. Otherwise, I don't think I would have signed him, just because it's big money. But Smallman, it looks like he's only going to get to maybe 30 points this year. But, I'm not too worried about that. I don't think he's going to drop at all. So he still has 3 years of getting better. So we always have him as an option to put on that second line. Brock Nelson, 19 points. I mean, I'm not looking for these guys to put up a ton of points. I'm looking for them to be plus players and get at least 20 points in the year, which he is only 1 point off of as of right now. And then Zach Smith, 16, yeah. Yes, it looks like our fourth line are all minuses. I really don't understand that. I mean, they're all good defensively. I mean, 84, 84, 84. Gordon, 83. I mean, Gordon's dropped a little bit for sure, because he's 36 years old, only 3-star potential. But Smith is good. Yeah, 87, 87, 86. I mean, the fourth line could be better. Maybe we could have 82s, 83s, but I'm not too worried about it. We have to let in goals somewhere, right? I mean, everyone else is big plus. Big pluses. I do believe, I mean, in the end, it is a simulation. And it does sound, not realistic, but, our first line is doing so, or our top 6, or even top 9, are doing so well at putting the puck in the net and keeping it out that we have to let in goals somewhere, right? And that's where the fourth line lets up the goals. So now going to defenseman. Points. So Aaron Ekblad, 45 points. There you go. Ekblad, what's his career? Wow. Yeah, he's... Wow. he's looking to beat his career high, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure 47 was his career high, so he's only 2 points off of that. And he still has 20 games left to play, so he could hit 55 points, who knows. At least 50. So yeah, what a year for Aaron Ekblad. And looks like everyone except for Ekman Larson and Hamonic are pluses. Dahan is even, but I mean, that's where it's weird. I mean, plus 13, plus 20, plus 16, and then you have minuses. You know, it's interesting. But Ekman Larson, 39 points. This guy's another up and down player as far as points, but and goals. But yeah, he and Tavares seem to like to switch it by year. You know, where they put up the points. Capitanov, 38 points. Very nice. Will he hit 52 like he did last year? I don't think so. But he's at 17 goals, plus 20, and he's only 24 years old. This guy's gonna be good, or he already is good. He's only getting better. Griffin Reinhart, 15 points and a plus 16. Perfect for Griffin Reinhart. Is he putting up 35 to 40 point seasons? No, but that's not what we have him for. Well, we only use 83 passing in the end anyway. But he's got the great defensive awareness. I'm fine if he's just a great defensive defenseman, and that seems like what he is. So that's perfect. Calvin DeHaan, 13 points for an offensive defenseman. 84 defensive awareness isn't bad, but I mean, we could look to getting a better defenseman for the third line in the future than DeHaan, just because he is an offensive defenseman on the third line, which I don't like. But as of right now, he's not. I don't think he's hurting us at all. Then Travis Hamonic. Hamonic's got great defensive awareness, great defensive stats all around. Again, I can't see why he's a minus. I think it's just because the top six is doing so well. But now for the goaltenders, John Gibson, 2.72 goals against average. He can never seem to get that goals against average. I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, I wish he would be more around like 2.3 or even lower than that. But overall, not a bad season for John Gibson. 31-16-0. And then Kevin Poulin, 2.33, 9-2. Man, I underestimated this guy, that's for sure. He's listed as a minor league starting goalie, and he's not doing very bad here up in the NHL as our backup. He's stealing us some games. All right, so those are these stats. So now let's look at, let's go into the trade deadline. Yes, all right, so let's see if there are any veteran guys that teams are willing to give up for a low price. We have 5 phones, so we have plenty of options here. Alright, so how much cap? We have no cap, pretty much. But skaters giving away. I'm not going to go after any players that teams are not willing to give away. Ryan Kessler, 1 year left, but it's at $7 million. We cannot afford Ryan Kessler, and that is a bit of trade value. Boston, nope. Buffalo, no. Mark Giordano, but again, 4.7 for the next 2 years. I'm not going to take that on. He would be that defenseman to replace DeHaan, though, even though he does have pretty similar stats, but he is better offensively anyways. Carolina, no. Brendan Smith, but see this, Duncan Keith, 3 years left at 6.9 mil. He's 80 overall. Jesus, Chicago. He actually still has pretty good defensive awareness, but I mean 73 passing. 2.5-star physical. Man, Duncan Keith. That's so sad to see these guys like that. I hate to see it. Because, they start out at like 90 overall. Trevor Daley, Nick Ritchie. Daley had some years left on him. Smith, Yurko. Now these are younger guys. I don't need to go for. I mean Darren Helm, but he's got some money there. I mean, we're not going to find any veteran guys with low salaries as well. That's the problem. Because we've maxed out our salary with guys like Ryan O'Reilly. What's this guy's name? Brandon Shen? Brock Shen. So maybe he's that third brother or cousin or something of the two Shens. Defensive defenseman, 4 stars, not bad. I don't know why they're looking to give him up. Ryan Suter and Zach Parise there in the trade block with 6 years left at 7.5. Good luck, Minnesota. Montreal. Nope. Nashville. Stempniak. Looks like he's still kicking. Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, 82 overall at 37 years old. He's still going at 2.5 stars. It's not bad. Yeah, see this, Rick Nash, 35 years old, 85 overall. Yeah, his defensive awareness definitely dropped. His offensive stats aren't bad, but they are dropping slightly. Yeah, he's gonna be a lot lower next year. That's for sure. He's gonna drop to the 3-star, and unfortunately, he's going to to drop. But Rick Nash would be that perfect guy for us to pick up right now, right? But I mean, like, you put a guy like that on the table, and that puts us... Actually, that doesn't put us far over the cap. Why doesn't it? Currently considered rival. I don't think I've ever seen that before. You are currently considered rivals with the New York Rangers. Does that mean, like, it's harder to trade? I don't know if that I don't know if that affects the simulation or whatever, but if it does, that's cool. I mean, like, Sezikis. I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna do it, but I mean, it would be like Sezikis and Wilkie got. We'd have to give some salary, but I mean, like, who's got some salary? Kaptenov. No, I mean Bolesky. No, I mean yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Ottawa. It's Grossman, Garbajovsky, Pavelski, 8.1. Nah, he's got high trade value too. Nope. Nope. David Clarkson. Poor Toronto. He's on the last year. Korstelev. I actually picked up Korstelev from Washington in my New York Rangers GM mode, and he got up to like 85 overall. He had like a 60-something point season, like 20-something goals, and he won the Calder Trophy. And that was when he was at 23, so I don't know if Washington just didn't play him in the right situations, or if in the new roster update they made him better. But his potential is the same, I think. Looks like he didn't pan out in this one for Washington. Yeah, that's it. So I don't think we're going to make any moves. Actually, I can look at what we could give up. Ekblad, Heatley. I know this is Gators matching block, no wonder. Riley Toffoli, O'Reilly, Danner, Simmons. No, there's nothing I want to give up here. I mean, we could trade Smallman for a guy that better suits that third line, but no, I'm not going to do that here. This is not the time to be making changes to our lineup. That's for sure. Maybe we could trade some of these guys down here, like Josh Ho-Sang and these guys, but they have no trade value. They're not going to get better. We should have traded those guys in year one. But you never know with prospects. I wasn't prepared to trade them just because, for whatever reason. Shut down phones, yes. Yeah, we're not going to make any moves. But we'll be able to see if any of the other teams make any moves. Alright, so Buffalo traded Matt Molson to the Canadiens for a second-round pick in these prospects. I wish you could look at the players, like, from this screen, if you could, like, click on the trade, and it brings you to, like, the trade screen, so you can look at the players' overalls and potentials. Because, you know, it says Jeffrey Golden. Like, I know what position he is. I know what player type and overall he is, but I have no idea. Like, is that a 2.5-star player, or is that a 4-star player? I have no idea. You know, so I can only speculate what Buffalo got back from Matt Molson. Columbus acquired Sven Baertschi in a third and Ortio for Oscar Dansk and Eugene Howe. So it looks like the Blue Jackets are looking for more offense, and Calgary's looking for a goalie. That makes sense if those teams are looking for that. It's pretty cool if they are. Any more deals? Nope. And that's another thing I've noticed about the trade deadline, is that all the deals seem to happen in the first hour, and then as you move along, like, it seems like no deals are made. Like, I wish that happened more often, too. Like, you know, there's never going to be a trade deadline where there's only 2 deals. You know, it's at least, like, 15 deals. You know, you never see just 2 deals in a trade deadline. That's kind of unrealistic. There aren't a lot of trades at the draft, either, other than the ones that you make. Alright, so now we're getting some trades. Alright, so Pittsburgh acquires a first and Colton White in exchange for Patrick Hornqvist, a third-round pick in Hudden. So the Kings, it looks like they're going for the Cup. The Penguins are going more for a rebuild, it looks like. I mean, that'd be interesting to see if they ever eventually trade Crosby or Malkin. Alright, so let's simulate up to the end of the regular season. Yeah, this is going to be a long video. If we made some moves at the trade deadline, this would have been a shorter video. But yeah, this is going to stretch. Just because we're going to have to end the season and look at the stats again. I'll try to go quick, though. You know, I don't like the videos going very long either. And then the next video will be able to start up the playoffs, which is perfect. But I think I'll actually be able to record round 1 right after this video, right? Because you know, we can't make any moves now. You know, I can't really take any suggestions. So yeah, I think we'll just ride out the rest of the regular season. We'll check the stats, and then I actually might put up 2 GM modes on Saturday because I'm recording this Friday night. So yeah, you guys might get 2 GM modes Saturday just because why not? I have the time. So why not? And that's the thing about GM mode is that I would love to post a GM mode every day. The only thing is school and actually having time to do that. But the other problem is with GM mode is with starting the regular season. If I start the regular season, I like to hear your guys' input on what like moves to make or anything, or for like free agency, if you think we should sign a player or not, what we should do with that player if we do sign him, that type of stuff. So I can't necessarily record like I can't just go and record the entire playoffs in one sitting because if I record round 1, round 1, 2, and 3, if we make it that far, and I can't upload them one after the next one, because then you guys will know I made it to at least the 3rd round, because you saw the videos come out. So without even watching them, and I can't go ahead and simulate past the trade deadline without hearing your guys' input. So I can only do record so much in one sitting, which does get annoying because if I'm only able to record like 2 episodes a week or something like that, then I do tend to forget. Like there have been points in this GM mode where I say, what year are we on? Are we on year 5, 6? Like what are we on? Just because it's been a week since I've done it, and I lose. I go off track a little bit. So that's a big win over Edmonton, big loss to Vancouver. So it looks like we are going to hit 50 wins. If we do, that's perfect. I'd assume Washington, unless Washington fell off the tracks, I would assume they won the Presidents. Yeah, we're hurting ourselves right now. We could have easily taken the Presidents, but I think we went on a little bit of a losing streak there after the trade deadline, which always seems to happen when I don't make moves, or even when I do make moves. Now we've still got some games left. We could still get some points out of this. Pittsburgh, we've had their number this season. Oh, we lose 4-2. Yeah, we're ruining our own chances right now. We can only blame ourselves for not winning the President's Trophy. Now, if we do win the President's Trophy, I mean, I was wrong, but I mean it's still good. But and we still have 4 games left, so we can still get to 52 wins. No, we're losing it. No, we hurt ourselves there. Yeah, so Detroit, they had a horrible year. Looks like they're getting the top 5 pick. There we go, 3-2 win. Alright, Carolina, how are they looking at this point? How are they looking? Not bad. Looks like they're a playoff team. I mean, maybe. I mean, it looks like they have 91 points. They could make it to, wow, 6-5 win. Jeez. Alright. Tampa Bay, it looks like they're a great team. Stamkos, wow. What is that? 104 points for Stamkos? Man. Well, we beat them 3-1. There we go. It looks like we're facing the Philadelphia Flyers in the 1st round. Alright, so back in October when I told you I was expecting 43 wins, I wouldn't have guessed you'd pull off 51. This is amazing work, and you've raised the profile of the New York Islanders this year. Great job. Alright, so we're facing the Philadelphia Flyers in the 1st round. I don't remember who we traded to Philly for Wayne Simmons, but the Wayne trade, he's going against his former team. That could be, if we do have to trade Wayne Simmons in the offseason, this is the perfect way for him to go out. Either, this would be the perfect scenario, beating his former team in the 1st round. I'm not going to simulate up because then you guys will see the players on the team there at the bottom, or at least you'll see 2 players, the one player and the goalie. But, yeah, so let's check out the stats for the season. Overall, a great season for us. Team standing, yeah, we did not win the Presidents. I mean, just look at that. I mean, hold on. I want to check this out. I mean, you guys saw that we were 2 points away from the 1st place Lightning. I mean, look at these losses. Loss. And then back here, 2 straight losses, another loss. I mean, if we had gotten a couple more wins, like if we had won, like right here we went, we lost 2 right there. We lost 4 out of these 5 games. If we won, 2 2 more, if we went 3-2 right there, we could have won the President's Trophy. We hurt our own chances right there. We could have easily taken that. We even beat the Lightning, who we were in the race with. So yeah, we hurt ourselves right there. Only 2 points out of first place. The Lightning had the most wins. We were in second for that. Goals for per game, we were third. Goals against, 10th, so that went down by 1, but that's not a big issue for scoring goals. Power play percentage, 4th. So, wow, so that went up a lot, didn't it? I think we were top 10 before, so now we're 4th. Penalty kill, 7th. So I think that went down a little bit. I'm pretty sure we were top 5 before, or maybe 6th. So that went down a little bit, but that's fine. Home and away records, yeah, we're 5-5 right now going into the playoffs. I actually want to check this out. Points. No, looks good. Yeah, look at this. Vancouver, they finished 19th in the league in points, but just how the standings work out. You know, these 4 Eastern Conference teams didn't make it into the playoffs, with Vancouver down there at 19th did make the playoffs. Oh, look at this, Minnesota. Minnesota makes the playoffs. 22nd place in the NHL. They make the playoffs. Oh, 4 East. That just shows you, man, the Eastern Conference is the dominant conference at this point. I mean, the top 3 teams in the NHL are all from the East. And the 14th. The 14th place team in the East would be number 8 in the West. I mean, that's insane. Yeah, the Eastern Conference is definitely the better conference at this point. Yeah, we can check out who won the divisions. I mean, this is something we haven't looked at. Wow, so it looks like the Pacific Division tore it up. Five of their teams. It looks like they got, of course, the 3 divisional teams, and then they got both wild card spots. So Arizona won their division. Central Division, St. Louis won their division. Tampa Bay won the Atlantic, and Washington won the Metropolitan. We were behind them by 1 point. So, who finished dead last in the NHL? Sorry this is taking so long, guys. But I just like to look at this stuff. Who finished dead last? So it looks like Detroit, New York, and Chicago are getting the top 3 picks. I don't know who's going to win the lottery. I'd assume Detroit, but you know, we know Detroit's draft history as well. So knowing them, they're going to draft the next, Sidney Crosby or something. So we'll see. So player stat. Oh no, those team stats of the playoffs. What am I doing? Player stats for the season. Come on. But the big question, did John Tavares reach 90 points? I don't know. Oh, I asked for 90 and he gave me 89. Oh, so close. If only he went 45 and 45, that would have been perfect. But yeah, Tavares, I've been saying it the past few years, he's been back and forth, between goals and assists. Which would you rather do this season? But this year he was, pretty dead even, as even as it gets. Or not, close to as even as it gets. But yeah, what a year for John Tavares. 45 goals, 89 points. Perfect. Tyler Toffoli, 71 points, 21 goals. Yeah, Toffoli had a great season. His best year in 4 years, or in 3 years. Ryan Strome, 71 points, so he hit that career high. What a year for the second line center. 30 goals, 40 assists. Unbelievable. And 15 power play goals. Way to go, Ryan Strome. 86 overall. He's still got 1 more year of getting better. If he could still jump. I would assume he's capped off. I mean, maybe a couple individual stats will get a little bit better, but even at 86, he's still getting 70-point years. So that's great. Johnny Gaudreau, 64 points, 25 goals. That's perfect for Johnny Gaudreau. Wow, Mr. Consistency. Look at this. Johnny Hockey, 65, 62, 64, 64. Last year, 24 goals. This year, 25 goals. This guy is very consistent. Okay, we'll look at the forwards. 61 points for Ekblad. Oh my god, Ryan O'Reilly, 60 points. There we go. So he did his job. For a first line, two-way forward, I would expect 60 to 65 points. For a second line, I would expect 50 to 55. So O'Reilly did his job. Yes, in Colorado, he did get a few more points. But here with the Islanders, he did his job. 60 points. He allowed Tavares and Toffoli to have the great seasons that they did. And he played the defensive side. Even though he did not get any shorthanded goals, but I don't care about that. 54 points for Wayne Simmons, making a case for himself. He beat his total from last year, 20 goals. Yeah, this guy does not like to drop below 20 goals, that's for sure. And he's about to face his former team, so that'll be interesting to see. Smallman, 28 points. He did obviously take a hit in points because we did drop him to the third line, but I'm not too worried about that. Nelson, 23. Suzuki's 22, 21. Yeah, some pretty good depth goal scorer here. I mean, Smith on the fourth line got 21 points. That's not bad. And looks like the third line looks like they dropped a little bit as far as plus minus, but the top six is just amazing. And then defense, Aaron Ekblad, 61 points. Unbelievable. Career high for Aaron Ekblad by far. 13 goals plus 18, 4 power play goals, even a shorthanded goal. Unbelievable. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 50 points. Perfect. Kapitanov, 42. What did he get last year? It was 50-something, right? Yeah, 52. But that's fine for Kapitanov. He's had some great years here. He's already played 3 years in the NHL. Plus minus, plus 18. Griffin Reinhart, plus 18, plus 15. Or what did I say? 18 points, plus 15. Yeah, perfect year for Reinhart. So DeHaan, 15 points, plus 3. Pretty good. And then, yeah, so it looks like DeHaan and Hamonic, the plus minus went up a little bit. Hamonic went up to even. And 10 points. It's not bad. And then the goaltender, John Gibson, 2.69 goals against average, 34, 24, and 3, with 90.92 save percentage and 7 shutouts. So, as far as individual stats, as far as like goals against average and save percentage, he definitely could be better. But we know John Gibson, he steps up come playoff time. You know, you see, I mean, 15 and 6 the year that we made it to the Eastern Final, I believe. Or no, that's the Stanley Cup Final. Yeah, Stanley Cup Final. And then, I mean, 6 and 2 last year. Yeah, he did very well. You know, his individual stats. Yeah, for the playoffs, he's definitely a playoff performer for us. So I'm not too worried about what he does in the regular season as long as we're winning games. You know, there's no reason to trade the goal or to change the goaltender just because. Oh, I actually didn't look at Kevin Poulin. Let's go back in there. Got to give him the credit he deserves. He was a great backup for us, which I really didn't expect. I mean, he's listed as a minor league starting goalie, and he stepped up big time. He was 9 and 2 the last time I checked. Yeah, he finished with a 2.12 goals against average, 12-3-0, 92.86 save percentage with a shutout. Like, if only Gibson was having these types of numbers. I know Poulin played a lot less games, but still, like, I really wish Gibson would have more along the lines of these numbers. It's Kevin Poulin. Great job. And so let's look at the playoff tree to end off this video. So that's your playoff bracket: Arizona, San Jose, LA, Edmonton, St. Louis, Vancouver, Colorado, Minnesota, and then in the East, Tampa, Carolina, Boston, Ottawa, Washington, Montreal, Islanders, and Philadelphia. So those are your 16 playoff teams. One of them will become champs. In the next video, we'll head into the first round. So I'll see you guys there.